so apparently we haven't been fucking live. We've been shooting for like 10 minutes.
Oh shit! I just happened to look up and I'm like, wait a minute. That says go live. Did we not hit the go live button?
Okay, so apparently I hit the countdown and we went through the countdown. We went through the fucking ads. We went through the whole shebang.
Hey, you know what? That is I'm not gonna say that's par for the course, but it's just like what else can we
Don't say
expect?
it. Don't say it.
No, I mean
Don't
at
say
this
it, bro.
point, at this point, I mean, what else do we this team is cursed. Let's just put it. I don't know who we've pissed off or how many of them we've
Bro.
pissed off, but
Okay,
we've pissed
so
them all off.
I'm just gonna fuck it, bro. I'm gonna smoke my pre-roll right now. I don't give a fuck. Like, this is not gonna be the most professional show. We never are. This is just gonna be Jason and I chopping it up as fucking Niner fans, bro, who are fucking heartbroken. You know, like, fucking see, Tommy, bro. I ought to ban you just for fucking saying that shit, bro. Like, why you gotta insult me there? Because I fucking retweeted your video and shit. So anyway, y'all didn't hear the whole spiel. I was watching the game at a hotel with the person who should not be named. We walk out. We're checking out of the hotel room. Dude who's checking us out is a Niner fan. Me and this woman are obviously talking to him. We're going back and forth, you know. And I looked at him and I said, bro, I just said it with a straight face. I was like, Eddie D sold his soul to the devil to get our 5 rings, and we're just suffering the consequences. And like he laughed. I was like, no, I'm dead serious, bro. And he was like, no. I was like, no, you don't understand. And he's like, you're dead. I was like, bro, I'm dead serious. Eddie D sold his fucking soul to the devil, cuz, to get us 5-0. He did. I don't give a fuck what anybody
Somebody did
says.
something.
Eddie D, I love you too, Tommy. Eddie D sold his soul to the fucking devil. Look, I don't know if he's got to die. I don't know if the
Calm down there, man. That's gonna get us kicked
I
off
don't
like
know what has to happen, bro.
media.
Look,
That's gonna
no,
get us kicked off like YouTube and Facebook.
no, okay. I don't give a fuck about that right now, cuz. No, I will say this. I preface this by saying, look, I don't wish death on anybody. I love Eddie D, greatest owner in sports history, all that type of shit. I don't know what. And I just looked at him, and this person who is older than me. She's in her, I shall not say her age because it's rude to say a woman's age, but she was born in the 70s. I'll just leave it at that. You know? And so
Really? 70s? You know I was born
yeah,
in the 70s.
I know. You're the same age as my ex. No, I'm sorry. You're a few months older than her. You're born what, January? What was it? January 20?
Yeah, January.
Yeah. 20th. Yeah, okay. I knew because I knew it was obviously Niners Whackers game, playoff game from a couple of years ago. I knew that was your birthday. So okay, so you're a day over 2 months older than her because you're born January 20th. We were born March 19th. She's just born 77. I was born 86. But so whatever. I mean, I was dating that chick damn near fucking 10 years. So anyway.
I'm not gonna say her age, but I'm gonna say what year she was born in.
Anyway. No,
I just want to point that out. You're like,
I was watching the game with shall not be named anonymous. She is older than both of us, but we shall not say her name because she may or may not be watching, or may not be watching later. And I don't need to piss her off. So anyway, I looked at the dude and I said, look. I said, at this point, bro, I was like, unfortunately, I'm just that fuck generation that grew up with the tail end of the dynasty. With the look, ultimately the dynasty ended in 1994. We just didn't know at the time, you know?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I was just that generation that grew up at the tail end of the dynasty, but not old enough to actually remember. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At this point, Jason, I'd give up 10 years. If you told me, hey, we can make you 10 years older and give you the memories of you know, like, for example, this woman let's just say, was in her 20s. The last time we won a Super Bowl, I was fucking 8.
Yeah.
It's just like that, bro. We are fucking Eddie D told his soul to the devil, cuz.
Like realistically, I don't remember 82 and 85. Honestly, I mean,
I get it.
3 I was 3 and 6 at that point, but like
Yeah, bro.
89, 90, and obviously 95, I remember those ones, you know.
Like
So
fuck, you were almost what? You were 18,
I was 17 last one.
17 to 90, 80. Fuck, bro. At this point, I'd sacrifice 9 years and just be 9 years older.
Yeah.
So what? I'd be 48 instead of fucking, 39. At this point, bro, I would give up those 10 years just to say I get a
or,
championship.
or give up 10 years and die earlier, 10 years earlier kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
just
that
like
you have,
something, bro. Something at this point, because what really made me the first time I truly cried was reading the whoever wrote the thing on KNBR. That it wasn't necessarily about Fred. It was just more of the like, hey, the Niners are cursed, and honestly, as a fan base, we really don't deserve this. Like, everybody talks about the Lions. Everybody talks about Cleveland. Everybody talks about the sorry fan bases that would be like, dude, I would kill to be able to fucking walk into my team's museum and see 5 Lombardis,
yeah.
and even to see old clips of my team. But you know what's the worst, Jason? When you know what this franchise was, when you got hope, when you can sit there and say, damn, every decade of my life except the 2000s, this team's made a Super Bowl. This team's actually made multiple Super Bowls in each decade. Or I guess technically in the 90s, we didn't technically make multiple Super Bowls, but we won a we've been to a Super Bowl in every decade except the early 2000s. But like, it's almost you know how they always say it's better to love and lost than never have loved at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like almost like that point where you keep on getting engaged, but she breaks up with you right before the wedding. And then you finally make it to the wedding, and then she leaves you at the altar.
Yep.
That's what it feels like to be a faithful, bro. Because you keep on falling in love with these chicks. You keep on thinking, man, she's the one. Man, she's the one. Man, she's the one. And then 3 times you actually make it to the wedding day. You wake up thinking, this is the day. And you get left at the altar all 3 fucking times. Speak, brother. I need to go find a ladder. Vet, Jason, because I know you feel just as shitty as me.
I don't think I do. And not that, well, I don't think that I feel bad. I'm more of just I've accepted, like, it is what it is. And it's like, what do we have to do to get over this? Like, I think we need to have, and obviously you can't just say, oh, it's just on our practice field. It's just on, it's just in Levi's to where it's the issues are. So I want people to just shut the fuck up with all that shit where they're just like, it's just, only the 49ers have injuries. I mean, you look at the Bucs have a shit ton of injuries. Other teams have a shit ton of injuries. I think it goes back to just, the way we practice these days. I don't think, unless I've seen a lot of people jump on the bandwagon of the fact that they think it's because Kyle works them hard during practice. I don't think it's that. I just think that there's luck and then there's unlucky. And right now we just have about the most unluckiest. We're the luckiest unlucky team ever because we're lucky enough to have a team full of stars. We have stars at almost every level. And, but we just can't put it through. And it goes back to what you were saying, like, we're always a bride, we're always the bridesmaid. We're never a bride. Especially, since 95. And
Yeah,
I'm not
bro.
sure what.
It's just like, I don't know, Jason. Like, I'm just like, because, Harbaugh, you go back and what was the big thing? You and I have talked about on this show, Jason, many, many a times. Justin Smith has two. Justin Smith, what's up? What's up, Terradome? Good to see you, brother.
Hello, Terradome. How you doing, brother?
Even Terradome, how old were you when we last won in '95, Terradome? I'm just curious. We're trying to grieve about how many years we've wasted. Fucking, I shouldn't say wasted, bro, because I've never felt like any year of this journey has been a waste. But like, you and I have discussed, and Adam and I discussed many times on the show. Um, Justin
Good,
Smith
Papa.
has two. What's good, Papa J? Justin Smith has two healthy triceps. We win Super Bowl 47 probably. I think that Super Bowl goes a lot different. 24. Theradome's 24. I don't know if I'd be 24 in 1994. That might be a little bit too much for me, but I definitely would have been Jason and Tommy's age at fucking 17. Fucking A. Well, you had just turned 17 9 days before, motherfucker. Like, happy birthday, Jason. Fucking A.
It was a great day. I'm celebrating a Super Bowl win in Japan. It was great.
Fucking A. Like, and
on
so
a
like
on a Monday morning.
And so it's like, see, so like everybody was talking to me. Big shout out to actually Silos. He was another faithful we met along there were obviously, you probably know who the person is, Jason, and you know that she's very well known for Niner dresses and just how she dresses and everything, and a bubbly person and wants to talk to everybody. And so like people were stopping us all along the way and everything like that. And we're all commiserating and everything. And it's so funny because like it wasn't a weird feeling because it was like it's a loss, we're all in a bad mood or anything, but it was like it wasn't like it was in because like the game in 2020 when Nick Bosa tore his ACL, we won. We actually fucking whooped the shit out the Jets. And it was so weird because I never felt that horrible after a Niners win in my life, This was just more like when it rains, it pours. 21 years old instead of a 3-year-old. Damn, bro. Damn.
Terradome said Biggie and Tupac were alive. So was Selena.
Like, fuck, bro. Fuck, bro. Fuck, God.
Princess Diana died.
So you know what, Papa J? You know what makes me more almost depressed about that is the fact that 3-year-old kid is not older than you were when we won that Super Bowl.
Dude, Princess Diana was alive.
Princess Diana, fuck, bro. All my kids now are now older than I was when we. Yes, sir. I can imagine that. Paradox bass player, enough said. We're anyway. So I don't know. So like, am I gonna sit here? The season's over.
Anybody who's got that whole crew, and we know who it's coming from, the Cone Cunt crew, and those guys, that whole thing, it's not done. Are things a little bleak? Sure. Obviously. I'm not going to sit here and say the sun is shining and that, where everything's as roses and fucking all that. It's not. But we're still 4-2. We're heading in the division. We're still technically first in the division because we got tiebreakers. Yeah. We've got reinforcements coming back. And the soft part of the schedule is just getting started.
Ultimately, do I think the Niners win a championship? Man, a lot of shit's got to break right for us. I do. Ultimately, do I think we'll win the division? Yes, I do. Do I think we'll win that home playoff game? Yes, I do. Depending on who it is. Depending on who it is. But it's going to be at home. Yeah, no, I will. But let's be real. We go to Philadelphia. We go to Detroit. We go to Tampa shit even. Yeah, bro. It's If Kyle's ever gonna go one and done in the playoffs, I think this is the year. I think this might be their year. I fucking saw that. My uncle would agree with you. But I don't know how you could have hope without 54. Look, I was willing to stand on my bridge and say the Niners were still a title contender after we left 97 because of 54 and because of the idea of we've been saying it all year. Shit, we've been saying it the last couple of years. Fred Warner is the best player on defense. It is not Nick Bosa.
Hmm?
And you know what? Actually, you know what? I have to think about this because now, seriously, I have to think of a drum song that's like a famous drum song. Because obviously you have Tom Sawyer.
Phil Collins.
No, but I'm saying like Tom Sawyer, the song by Rush, like the most famous recognizable part of Tom Sawyer by Rush is the drum. Oh, in the still of the night, you know, in the still of the night, or not
In the air tonight.
in
In the air tonight.
I said the still of the night.
Honestly, people don't realize how good of a drummer Phil Collins is. Honestly, people do not realize it.
I can feel it. Anyway,
you got the drummer from
That's probably the biggest one.
From Def Leppard with one arm.
Yeah, I can't. But I've actually seen them live. It's pretty dope. Like it really, honestly, like. I mean, we were pretty far away, so it wasn't like we could see it. So like, and so like they put the camera on him or whatever. He just looked like a normal drummer because he's just sitting there like this, and everything like that. But when they zoom in on him and everything like that, you can tell that he's only got one. He's playing with one arm and both legs.
Eloy Casasandre, or however that pronounced, Casagrande from Slipknot, or the drummer, drummer from his wife is a wrestler, and then he just got divorced.
Obviously, John Bon Scott, or John, the one from Led Zeppelin.
If you've listened to "Don't Take Me Alive" solo, it sticks in your head for years. Yeah, there's tons of drum solos, man.
Yeah. So okay, I don't know. Look, because with 54, I believe we always had a chance, and like no, I don't know how to survive without the man that breaks down the team and everything like that. But obviously we will. And at the end of the day, I'll never give up on a season. Bonham, there you go, John Bonham. I couldn't think of his name right now, but yeah, John Bonham from Led Zeppelin. Moby Dick, probably one of the most famous drum solo songs ever. So, no, the guitar solo, Jason. He was talking about the guitar solo. Larry Coltrane, yeah, Larry Coltrane. Whoever air drums to the.
You've got a point there. I've never thought about that, but that's a very valid point.
He said, "Whoever air drums to the fucking."
Like I said, that has never once ever crossed my mind, and now I'm never going to be able to not air drum.
Does that mean that if you play air guitar to Black Sabbath with fingertips, you're a dick? Because Tony Iommi. Anyway, so I mean, to me, this is about seeing excitement. And the fact of that, what? Ultimately, this team will determine what this season is, right, Jason? I mean, at the end of the day, the team will determine. So if this team is good enough to be a playoff team, we'll be a playoff team. If it's not good enough to be a playoff team, we won't be a playoff team. And so, you know what? Let's be excited about seeing the development of Tatum Bethune,
Mhm.
right?
Who I think honestly might make the run defense a little bit better because he's a slapper. He's an old school middle linebacker kind of type. You
I,
know what I mean? Because he's not going to cover the field like Fred, and
no.
obviously Fred is still great in the run, but he's a little bit more. He's stronger than Fred, a little bit bigger than Fred. So I mean, he might get a little bit bigger. Obviously, you're going to take a huge dip in coverage.
That's the thing that ultimately I think got exposed in Tampa Bay. And ultimately, I think that's the thing that I worry about the rest of the year is the run defense. Okay, fine. If you tell me it gets a little bit better or at least more physical and more punishing, because that's ultimately I think the difference between 54 and 52 is I think 52 was a bigger hitter. You know,
Yeah.
um, so fine. But what got exposed clearly what got exposed on Sunday was the coverage. The coverage just simply was not the same without Fred. And I think for the
Nope.
first time, literally in his career, we kind of realized that. We gotta because even when the run defense has been suspect the last couple of years, our pass coverage has been fine.
Yeah. But we can also make adjustments. Why can't we put someone like, and not necessarily play linebacker, but for some odd reason we're playing a whole lot of fucking Jaron Brown. So why don't we sub him out on passing situations? Obviously you're still, you would just sub him in for Bethune and then let him take the coverage and stuff like that. Maybe slide Winters over a little bit and then let him go out the coverage. Why couldn't we throw another safety or another cornerback out there? Kind of, you know what I mean? So I mean, we're gonna have to do something along those lines to keep somewhat of the coverage up to Fred's standard. Now, I don't think we're never going to get to that standard again, but we have to do something different than what we've been doing in order to bring that level up
See,
to
I
somewhat.
think that we can. I disagree with you, bro. I think that what I think ultimately will be the issue is that if we sacrifice and sell out for coverage, right, then the run game's going to suffer. If we obviously sell all out on the run game, then the coverage will suffer. I think ultimately where we'll miss Fred is the ability to have an elite. Where we're ultimately miss Fred and Bosa, because I think one of the most underrated things about Bosa is his run defense.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what I think will be what will suffer this year and what will ultimately I think might be the Niners undoing is not being able to have those two players that can do both. You feel me?
Well,
I
yeah, yeah.
think it's like almost like Kittle Corn, where I think Luke Barrow could be a decent blocking tight end.
He ain't
Not
just
not
been so
not
far
at
this
the
year.
level of Kittle. Not at
He's been fucking terrible at blocking this year so far.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That truthfully, honestly, that's kind of one of my biggest pointments. But I'm saying like the theory of it was that Furrow could be the
Yeah.
blocking tight end, and then you got Tongus being the receiving. What makes Killer Corn special is you got two in one package,
Yeah.
and I think that's what we're gonna miss with Fred. Is the dual pack? Is like, hey, it's all in one package. And also, what have I said a million times on the show, Jason? Coaches will take a dip in talent. Coaches want consistency over talent, but inconsistency. And that's
Yeah.
the thing about it is not only did you know what you were going to get with Fred, but you were going to always get it. Play in, play out, play in, play out, play in, play. And that's, I mean, like, also the thing that hurts the most is like you saw in his wrist and you saw that he had 97 on his wrist. What's that, bro? That's leadership.
Hmm.
That's leadership. That's like I'm playing for my teammate. Like, that's what you want. Look, respect to Trent. Trent became was given captain because of his reputation. Respect to Kittle Corn. Look, it's kind of hard. Look, love him to death. Kind of hard to be the captain when you're on the sideline. If you're in the press box injured. The one thing and why I ultimately think we'll miss most is Fred's leadership because he was there all the time. Like the whole defense. Think about that, bro. Like ever since any Niner that's been here since 2018 has never ever heard another voice besides Fred Warner in the huddle. Minus one game. Minus one game. That's
And
literally
it's not just the defense. He's the heart and soul of this team. You know what I
okay.
mean? Like, we have leaders on offense and we have leaders on defense. If you could take but Fred has always been the heart and soul. You know what I mean? That's what his special role is.
The practice tone, just everything that it is.
Yeah, but he's
And
actually got Bethune breaking. He's had Bethune breaking down practices. So I expect it's going to be Bethune that's going to be breaking down the linebackers at least next week.
you
You got
know,
to fill
honestly,
Fred's role. You're going to have to pick up that spot too.
actually, I think it's been D this year that's broken down the linebacker. Fred breaks down the team.
Or the team, yeah, maybe the team as well.
Yeah, Fred breaks down the team, but the breaking down the yeah, Thomas, yeah, breaking down the linebackers, yeah, Bethune. Look, ultimately, if you put a gun to John Lynch and Kyle's head and said, "Look into the 5 years into the future," yeah, probably they would say Tatum Bethune and D Winters. Just on the roster right now would probably be the two linebackers to the Fred and Dre of their era, the Bo and P Willis of their and everything like that. So it might suck for 2025, but 2026, the fact that Tatum Bethune, the fact that whatever we play more nickel now and just have D Winters on the field. Or I'm sorry, not nickel, dime, and just say, hey, we're just gonna have we'll have Jair be in the dime package and he'll be our second linebacker. And then you just have D Winter. I don't know. I give solid credit because Jason, tell me I'm crazy. We did not ultimately the two things that cost. I don't believe the defense cost. I will go into this game believing like the Jags game did, where the defense made mistakes. We're atrocious and sudden changes, all those things. But the defense was not the reason we lost this ball game.
We lost by 11 points after with Fred out.
I think I think this might be one of Robert Saleh's best coaching jobs, considering the fact 3 drives or 2 defensive drives. Really, not even 2 full defensive drives. What, 1 play into the second defensive drive, you literally lost. You lost Ronnie Lott, bro.
Yeah, and
you lost Ronnie Lott.
You're talking about some of these drives. The offense put us in shit position, especially after the first interception by Mac.
That was
yeah, that was. And then what the fuck is Sky Moore doing catching punts at like the 2-yard line? What in the blue hell is he doing? He is a veteran player. We got him here to not screw up the special teams. He is destroyed. The special teams isn't necessarily terrible right now. Sky Moore himself, with the way he's returning and putting them in these punt returns, is destroying the special teams.
Okay, so to credit on the radio, Tim Ryan said he believed that Boyer thought that something could be exposed, and so that they were more aggressive on return. So it could have very well been coaching, because if he was not coached to do that, yeah, bro, like you're costing your football. I totally agree with you, Jason.
I don't think that's coaching, because
look, I'm not saying that. I fully agree with you. And ultimately, Jason, I said this on Friday, and we found I asked you on Friday, when does Mac Jones prove that he's a backup quarterback? And I don't think he played horrible, but I think
he was fine.
I think on Sunday he proved he's a backup, because I think in that game, not Brock in the Jags game, maybe not even Brock in the Seahawks game, but the Brock we think we got when we were all putting hashtag pay Brock Purdy this offseason. That Brock we believe in, he wins that game.
A healthy quarterback wins that game. I'm sorry, I would put Mac Jones in that same sentence. A healthy quarterback who has not been honestly abused to death for 2 weeks The man is damn near half. He's been 20 hits in 2 weeks. It is
Jason,
criminal what we are doing to Mac Jones right now. A healthy quarterback, no matter who it is, even Adrian Martinez, fuck, he might have won that game.
I look at this. I think that the inability
Hello.
to say keep our quarterback healthy might be the bugaboo. Or I will say this. The issue of the offensive line, because we've seen it with Jimmy, minus the ACL, because the ACL had nothing to do with Jimmy. The O
No,
line had
that,
nothing to do with that was all on Jimmy. But
Yeah.
let's be real, Jimmy got beat to fucking shit, bro, and that's why he could never stay healthy. And ultimately, I will say the downfall of Trey was the fact that Kyle felt that the best way to win with him was to run him. He just wasn't the runner that he wasn't Cap. You know,
yeah.
he's not Justin Fields. And let's be real, the reason I think that Brock's been able to just shine and everything like that is finally that Kyle has had for more than, a few games, has had a mobile quarterback. So that the offensive line, which has been the Achilles heel of this fucking football team since Kyle took over, has never been that much of an issue because Brock's always been able to make it look better than it is because of his mobility. But you're seeing it, bro. He's getting Mac Jones, or I shouldn't say he is. This football team's in a bad. This football team inability to address the offensive line and not, hey, we're going to take a third rounder and pray that it fucking is a miracle, or Daniel Brunskill is going to come be the best fucking undrafted free agent signing of all fucking time. The ability to, or Mike McGlinchey, the inability of this football team to address the offensive line, I believe is going to be our bugaboo.
There was a play where there was the failed sneak play, which this team has always been. We've had some quarterbacks who are pretty damn good at sneaking the ball.
I believe only failed. It was either only once or twice, and one yard or one and less to go.
There was a play with Jake Brendel, and obviously we've all had Jake. They'll come back with something that says it. But anyways, Jake Brendel. Okay, everybody, we're gonna do this something stupid and simple. Jake Brendel plays what position? Center. Okay. Where does the quarterback usually sneak? In fact, where did he sneak right off this one? It's usually off of one side of the center's ass, right?
Yep.
Okay. Tell me, how does the center, and this happened Sunday, watch the game. How does the center get pushed back so far? He is a yard behind where the ball was snapped. And he's standing up going like this.
Bro, there's plays.
Like, how the fuck do you get that? All you have to do is not move. He gets pushed back on a fucking quarterback sneak by a yard and a half. Don't tell me.
There's plays, bro, that he literally. Yes, I know. I see it. Hi, Nancy. I will talk to you later. Christ. People are blowing up my phone and I've been busy and Christ. Anyway, I see it. There's plays out there, bruh, that he's like whiffing in space.
Steve-O, the play I'm talking about, Vita Vea was not on the field, but yes, Vita Vea was a problem. He's always a problem.
Look,
Vita Vea's a badass.
Look, I admitted that in the Super Bowl, if Chris Jones makes a play, then you tip your cap and you're like, that's why he's the highest defensive player in NFL history, right? Vita Vea, we talked about it. We literally talked about him on Friday, Jason. We literally
one of my favorite players in the league.
Melpitas legend. But it's bro. And the frustrating thing about it is I've always had Kyle and John's back because I felt like for the most part, whenever there's been a a glaring need of this football team, for the most part, I've always felt that we have addressed it. We may have addressed it with the wrong player or had the wrong plan, i.e., we'll trade DeForest Buckner and draft Javon Kinlaw. But like they just haven't straight up ignored it, except the offensive line. And you know what I think it is? I think it's Kyle's obsession with receiver. And the sad thing about it is, it's not like we've been that great at drafting receivers.
No,
you got Debo, who, let's be real, had one great year and was useful to Kyle and what Kyle wanted to do for him, but is not a great wide receiver. We've discussed this plenty of times, Jason.
Yeah.
Debo was a great offensive weapon. He was not a great receiver. Yeah. And BA, who, let's be real, if the Niners could do one undo on the roster right now, if they could erase one contract right now on the roster, is it BA? I bet you it's BA.
For sure. Everybody knows how bad that fucking that contract is.
And ultimately, whatever power Kyle lost over contracts and contract decisions, it was a BA contract that cost him that power. BA was getting traded, and Kyle put the kibosh on it. And so, look, and I want to say this, I think Mac Jones is a great backup quarterback. Like I am so excited about the Niners quarterback room. It is infathomable to think that your backup quarterback just went, what, 1, 2,
3-1.
3-1? With probably one of the biggest wins Niner Yams history, regular season. I can't think of a bigger
300 yards a game, throwing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is dreamland shit for your quarterback, your backup quarterback. So I want to no way think that this is Mac Jones bashing. But yeah, we have, Jason says healthy quarterback, I'll stay our starting, because to me, why did the Bucs win this game? That 3rd and 15 play that Baker made. That won him the game, in my opinion.
2 years in a row, man. Last year it was Bosa with his softly caressing Baker's arm. If he was a black quarterback, he would rip his arm off, let's be honest. And then this year, I mean, how did he get out of that, Baker? Hats off to Baker. Like, Baker's
how did he get out of that, cuz? Like, that might be like play of the year type status.
Oh, it's up there.
Like, that was like, look, you know me, Jason. Like, I'm the ultimate. I don't give like I will always believe. There's very rarely games I believe that another team beat us. I generally believe the Niners lost the game, not X team beat us. You know, that's just like that's just one of those plays. It's like, right, like that's the difference between a starter and a backup.
Yeah, but he ran through starters too.
Huh?
He ran through starters too.
No, but no, I'm saying like that's the difference between your backup quarterback and your starting quarterback. Like, I don't like Mac Jones could make that individual play in his life, sure, but like not consistently like Baker does.
No,
and that's the difference. That's the difference between the
thing with him.
What happened?
That's not even consistent with Baker. That's just what Baker does to the Niners. That's just he saves his one amazing rush a year for when he goes against the Niners. That's all that is.
I mean, I just like that's just the type of play that like.
And I'm Jeff George. The Rams coach that can only beat the Seahawks.
Oh, Jeff Fisher.
Jeff Fisher, yeah, he's the Jeff Fisher to our defense.
You like legitly. I can't believe that. Like, I'm so shocked. Like, so you know how like Robert Saleh said that the play from Alfred Collins is going to be on teach tape for years to come.
Yeah.
That's going to be like on a how not to tackle or whatever highlight tape for like ever, bruh. Because like great play by Baker and everything, but I was just like, how the fuck did he get out of that? Cuz
20 years from now, we're gonna see that video with the Benny Hill music playing in the background.
It's gonna be on like one of those old NFL film videos and shit like that and everything like that. And
well, we need Chris Berman. Whoop 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 whoop
whoop. Hey Jason, that is a great fucking reference right there. He said we need the fucking Chris Berman. He could go all the way. You know what? Like, you know, so okay, I'm gonna make an announcement here. So I'm getting kicked out, y'all. That's basically what I was doing, and while we're a little bit late on the show, I was getting my storage, my PO box, and pots and pans because I'm not allowed to use the pots and pans anymore. So so it's been a little rough patch for your boy, but I was thinking about like just overall my life and everything like that. I think I grew up really in the best time period. Maybe like I would be Jason's age, I'd be okay with that. Yeah, Jeff Saturday. Yeah, bro. I would take like if our new center could be Jeff Saturday, I'd fucking sign him to whatever contract he wanted. Like I actually might get rid of Trent. Like if you're talking about we could get prime Jeff Saturday, I would say goodbye to Trent's contract immediately. And he would now be the highest paid O lineman on this football team. Yeah, don't the Jeff Saturday was legit, bro. Ultimately, I think where we got fucked was Alex Mack retiring.
Yeah.
So and then because it was Alex Mack and Trent, and then it was kind of like I don't know.
Also, we didn't pick up Creed Humphreys.
No. And okay, can somebody? Okay, we need like a direct line to Chris Forrester. Could somebody teach somebody how to block Hassan Reddick, please? Like, please.
What's up, McNair? How you doing, brother?
What's up, David? How you doing, baby? I got it. Could somebody just please, like you think fucking damn near ripping your starting quarterback's arm off would be enough to teach you that you need to block somebody, but no.
Sorry ass Rams. So long.
Fuck the Rams. Apparently, we still like 2 years later just let's not block Hassan Reddick, and just give him free fucking shots on our quarterback all day. Poor Mac Jones, poor Mac Jones. Like I almost want to buy a jersey just for what he's going through, bro. Like, man, like if you ever want to say why you should never apply to be a Niners quarterback, just look at fucking Mac Jones, cuz he's over there.
Letting him get beat like that for 2 weeks in a row is criminal.
Bro, like after the Yams game, did you literally see him dry heaving on the sideline? He's like, he's literally limping off the field and just on the side. And I'm just like, and they're rubbing his arm. He's having to eat banana. I was just like, Lord Jesus, this is I would not be mad if, like, say we got the number 1 overall pick one year, right? And whatever the hot shot quarterback is that year, right? Just refused to sign with us. Just was like, no. Just pulled a Eli Manning. I'm not signing with the Niners. So you could draft me, but I'm not signing with you. Just because of the treatment that our quarterbacks have gotten the last few, like, bruh, I would not be mad. I could not be mad and be like, you know what? I don't know if I would want to expose myself to almost like I remember the commercial. You remember back in the day when it was Derek? I think it was the draft right after Derek Carr. But the NFL was talking, the ESPN was talking about how like it was a draft commercial, and it was like, "Oh, your team needs," and it was literally Derek Carr out there, and he just goes like, and it was like a whole defensive lineman, but it was only like Derek Carr, and he goes hike, and like the whole D line comes and tackles him, and it was like what your team needs, and it was like clearly like Houston needed an offensive line because like it was the year after Derek Carr broke the record for most getting sacked the most time. Like that's almost
He
like
broke
that.
that
That's
like 5 years in a row, by the way. Derek Carr is up there. Like he broke that record 5 years in a row.
yeah. Like Derek Carr is like, look, I think Derek Carr might very well be the ultimate. Like it's where you're drafted in the organization and all that. That matters a lot. You know, I think that's very very sad because I think ultimately it was the failures of Houston and not Derek Carr not being being a shit. Like I don't believe we ever got to see Derek Carr.
No.
Or David. Is it Derek or David? David's the older one, right?
Yeah, David's the older. Derek's the older one.
David. I meant David Carr. Sorry, I said Derek. I meant David, the older one with Houston. He was the one with Houston. My bad. But anyway, so I mean, going forward, Jason, I think that I would like to end the show on positive. No, because I mean, I would like people to come back for the next fucking 10 weeks. Or no, 11 weeks. We still got fucking 11 weeks.
We're a third of the way through the season, man. It's nuts.
Fuck, bro. Like we still got 2/3 of this season to try to motivate people to show up every week for. So I want to end the show on one thing that generally, like not playoff wise, just generally, like no matter what happens, even if the season goes to shit from now on, one thing that you know you feel people should tune in for week in, week out.
Growth. We're going to see a lot of growth, especially from this defense. We're going to see growth not just from the rookies, but I mean, there's obviously that. We're going to love to see the growth from rookies. I want to see growth out of guys like, I mean, obviously, for whatever reason, I mean, even though he didn't play terrible this week, we're going to see a lot of Jair Brown, obviously.
Yeah.
We're going to see, I want to see Malik come back. I want to see Demo grow into the leader that he wants to be. Demo wants the smoke. All right, Demo. Like I said, I'm not saying that he's playing terrible or that he's not a good leader now. I want to see him grow more as a leader. So, I mean, there's all that kind of stuff we're going to look for. And the defense will get better.
Just one quick question, one quick thing on Demo. You know what I think's happened to Demo? I think he's going exactly what Fred went through when he signed his big deal. Is because now Demo is looked at as that leader. He's got the big contract. You know, he's a Niner. You feel me and all that? I think he's trying to do too much. I think he's trying to set the tone too much.
Agree.
I think
he's not that player.
Cares too much. Almost, you know, like he's trying to do too much and he's trying to earn that contract too much instead of realizing you don't got to do nothing special. You just got to do what you do.
Mm-hmm. I agree. He is trying very hard, and it's just like, dude, just back it off a little bit. We're good. We get you.
But look. I look. What have we always said? We'd rather tell you to tune it down than you need to tune it up. You know.
Yeah.
So that's okay. But yeah, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. I think that the growth of this coaching staff, you know, the growth of Robert Saleh and Kyle Shanahan and working in together. I almost envision the roles this year where basically they're almost kind of co head coaches in the sense I believe like Kyle's head coach of offense, Saleh's head coach of defense.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? And I look forward to seeing like how they mold and complement each other because they clearly had an idea on how it was going to work and how things were going to look and all that at the beginning of the year. Now, when you throw a wrench in the plans, what happens? Because look, I'm not saying it's at that point. I think this is probably where Kyle's going to shine, you know, but We talked about look, Iron Sharpers, like Joe Montana came off of an MVP, and this team still traded for Steve Young.
Yeah.
Got us extra championships, all that, right, Jason? Look, having somebody, I'm not saying a threat to Kyle's job, but maybe somebody that could turn the heat up a little bit. And because let's be real, Kyle's walked around like he's God the last eight years because nobody's come close to
Yeah.
Now Salah's in town. And you get what I'm trying to say? Not like I don't want tension or anything, but just the pressure of knowing that there's somebody in the building that if you don't get the job done, I look, if Kyle Shanahan stepped down today and Jets announced Robert Saleh as head coach, very, very hard pressed to find a lot of faithful that are bitching about that.
They're called
Just saying. They bitch about everything, bro. They would bitch about it. They would bitch about it because everybody loves it. Let's be real. That's why they're bitching about it. They bitch about it because everybody would love it.
Mm-hmm.
Grant, he's anyway. We've discussed it plenty of times, but so I'm looking forward to that, like how and the growth of this young player of being able the pressure of Kyle. Where it said, hey, you know what, Kyle? You're supposed to be this offensive guru, this offensive genius. Your defense is battered or bruised and been carrying the team all season. Let's be real. We're 4-2 because of our defense. You know what? About time the offense steps up. Yeah? Like Kittle Corn coming back, Brock coming back. I think it's about time that we win a game 35-24. Maybe Ricky. I believe it's more Ricky and Kittle than Brock. I think it was. Shanahan said 2 were I think Kittle, or no, maybe it was Kittle was more likely than Brock and Ricky. I can't remember. It was worded that one of them was more likely than the other 2, but all were possible. If that makes sense. Let's be real. Kyle ain't gonna fucking. We're not going to find out if there's any look. If it's not 1,000%, 100% fact that Brock is going to play, we're not going to find out on Friday.
No,
we're going to find out. We're going to find out game time. Basically, same. So, have the Niners officially opened up Kittle's window? It's officially been opened.
I haven't seen it anywhere.
Probably would be open tomorrow. Probably when practice starts. Why would you open it a day early? Cool. So I guess we'll know more on Friday. But final thoughts, Jason.
Rest up, Captain. We'll see you next year. Love you, Fred. You know what I mean? That's about all we can say.
Fucking A. Breaks my heart. Hey, you know what though? If this has been this man's first 8 careers, bro, man, I can't wait to see what a fucking motivated. I haven't played in almost a year. I'm hungry. I've missed football. I've watched my team suffer without me.
That first home game is gonna be that's gonna be crazy,
bro. I might scream so loud that my nose bleeds. My grandma. The only equivalent I could ever bring to it is my grandma always tells me that you remember the day they retired Joe's jersey was the day Jerry came back from the torn ACL the same season. That was the game. It was against the Broncos Monday night.
Yeah.
I'll never forget whoever's playing Sourdough Sam. They announced him coming out of the tunnel, and Sourdough Sam was going like this to Jerry and everything. And my grandma says she still has to take aspirin for how loud I screamed when he caught that touchdown. For how just loud it's probably going to be that equivalent. Just seeing and they're going to say it for last because they always say you say the first name, we say the last name, or we say the first name, you say the last name. So number 54, Fred, and he's just going to come out. The dreads are going to be.
It's going to be nuts, like I said, and that's what we have to look forward to for Fred next year, and that'll be freaking awesome to see.
I can't wait.
it sucks that you have to miss somebody like him to get an ovation like that, but it's just his energy is gonna make that stadium explode next
I
season.
think we needed this, Jason, because you don't know what you got until it's gone.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what? Like, I think that like seeing like I've never appreciated going to Niner games as much as I did after COVID. Like that first Niner game I got to go to in 2021. Bro, that was the best. Like more than my first Niner game I ever went to. Like I just like it just, and that's what it's gonna feel like. I fully agree. All right, bro. We'll see you Friday.
Yep. Bafata te love. One love, everybody.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Wait, what? Oh, Born was on Sherm's pod. I thought you said Born was on Shrooms. I was like, what the hell? Yeah. All right, y'all. God bless you, Papa J. Thank you so much. God bless, brother. I appreciate y'all. Look, y'all, like this is gonna suck. But I'm really glad that we're all here together to go through this and everything because I feel a lot better talking to Jason, talking to y'all. I hope we taught some of y'all off a cliff and everything like that. Like it sucks, bro. I'm brokenhearted. Like just I gotta do this, bro. Just no. I can't do that one. I can't do that one. That has to come after the game. But like, bro, just listen to this.
Hey, tonight, remember this. Remember this. We hate these boys. We hate these motherfuckers. Come out and smoke these boys from the first whistle. The first fucking whistle. One game, 60 minutes. All you got. I fucking love y'all boys, man. I love y'all with all my heart. Let's go beat that boy ass. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
It's just not going to be that, cuz. That's what we're going to miss. Like, you hear that? You just hear that in his voice, cuz. Next year. But this year is not over, y'all. Please, as always, please remember, the San Francisco 49ers don't always lose a game, but when we do, still the best team in NFL history. Stay faithful, my friends. We'll see y'all Friday. Faith, love, and happiness.